You've heard about him for weeks, and now you get to meet him. The fantasy genius guest stars on TWIF Week 15 preview. Ben, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am the not self-proclaimed fantasy genius, but self-proclaimed Twitter god, and I own 3 teams.
Okay. Last week, I topped Metal Spine 82 to 111. Bing Bong floundered and finished his season very disappointing.
Thank God.
And just really screwed the pooch. After starting off 3-1, he finished the year 5-9 and just didn't man up, just crumbled. And now when I say, "Hey Cameron, he finished 5-9," he won't be able to say, "Oh no, I didn't. I know I had more wins than that." There's a record now, so maybe next year, Cameron. Victorious Seagouch over Clap 4. Clap 4 has been killed by injuries. Metal Spine over Team Sucks.
Here we go.
USC Athlete Comp Fund over Record Breaking. No, sorry. Record Breaking over the USC Athlete Comp Fund in my game of the week. And Ben put up a good fight, but he lost to Disco. Alright, Week 15 preview. Once again, it's going to put me on Cameron's team. You know, No Fried, Cure Sucks, Cameron, and Metal Spine all got eliminated. And we're going to start out with the consolation bracket. First game is me, and Ben's second team, TX Nurse. I think Matthew Stafford will outperform Phil Rivers, who's been a big bust this year.
Yeah, he has.
I think Cedric Benson will do better than Turner, who also hasn't had a very good year. I think MJD will beat the Bush McFadden headache. Ever since Jack Del Rio has disappeared, MJD has been getting the touches he so righteously needs. Des Bryant will do better than Deshaun Jackson, just because the Eagles' offense is terrible. Vincent Jackson will be bested by Julio Jones, you think?
I'm not so sure about this. I mean, I know that Vincent Jackson's a boom or bust player, but I have him doing pretty good against the Baltimore defense, which, usually when you play matchups like that, it never works out. But I think in this case, I think Vincent Jackson's going to have a much better week. Julio Jones is the same way. He's boom or bust. He'll get 28 points one week, and then he'll put up a big 0 the next. So, both of them are inconsistent, but I see Vincent Jackson doing much better.
What do you think about the Winslow-Selleck matchup?
That's a tough one, because I like Selleck, but he's playing the Jets, who have a very good pass D. And then Winslow, he started off the season really, really bad, but he's really picked it up the last few weeks. But Josh Freeman's just inconsistent. I mean, you can't trust a quarterback like that. So I think I'll have to give the advantage to Selleck.
Winslow has 2 touchdowns all year. I'm giving the advantage to Selleck. Nate Washington and Gaffney. Washington's playing the Colts, so he gets my edge.
Yeah, I'll say Nate Washington. When you play the Colts, that's like an automatic win. So.
David Akers and Josh Brown. David Akers, all-powerful.
Yeah, I'll say that, since Josh Brown's not that elite.
Cedric Benson has a favorable matchup. You know who he's playing?
The Rams.
The Rams. The Bengals D will do better than the Jets. Advantage me in that game. Second consolation game. Kevin and the Fantasy Genius. Kevin's been killed by injuries, and it's looking pretty good for Ben, because Cam Newton will do better than Matty Ice. LeGarrette Blunt blowing. Ben, got Carter for the first day, so that's where that joke goes. He will outperform Bradshaw. Chris Johnson, great pickup, Ben. I don't know where you see some of these things. Will outperform Fatgram. Brandon Lloyd will do better than Stevie Johnson, I think. How many touchdown catches has Stevie Johnson had since week 6?
I think he's had like 2 or 3. Like, he's really fell off recently, but his last 2 weeks he's done a lot better. And there's not many other wide receivers on the Bills, so Stevie Johnson's a number 1 wide receiver. Even though I will agree with you that Brandon Lloyd will do better this week, because once once again, just kind of like the Bills, Brandon Lloyd's the only talented wide receiver they have.
Stafford targets him a lot too. Bradford. Megatron over Colston.
Yeah.
Owen Daniels over Dustin Keller.
Yeah, I like that because I haven't started Owen Daniels the last few weeks because I haven't been very sure on T.J. Yates. I don't know where he's from or who he is, but he's put up like 300 yards last week. So, I mean, he could distribute it. So I'm going to start him over Pettigrew.
Dustin Keller 4 touchdowns all year. I'm giving it this one to Daniels.
Inconsistent.
Andre the Giant Johnson over Spiller. Spiller, good pickup. Didn't work out. He's had combined for like 10 points the last 2 weeks.
Is Johnson starting though? I don't know if he was still injured or not.
I think he might be injured. I think actually the Texans might bench Johnson because they've already clinched. So, I mean, I guess obviously Spiller will do better than 0 points, but
Yeah, it said he's questionable. So, I mean, if he starts, Andre Johnson's a way better choice. But I don't know who Clatford can really put in for Andre if he's injured.
it is a flex though. So, Hansen over Rackers. Hansen's in that group of elite kickers with the mighty David Akers and Dan Bailey. Cowboys D and Eagles D. Who are you giving that one to, Ben?
I'll say the Eagles D. Or I don't know. That's a tough choice, but I'm going to say the Eagles D. But just because the Jets, I mean, they're not a very good offensive team. Sanchez is inconsistent. I'm like you. I can't stand Sean Green. LT is more of a wide receiver than a running back. And the Cowboys, I mean, the Cowboys are the heartbreak of the NFL. I mean, they will break your heart. So an easy game like Tampa Bay might seem like an easy choice over the Eagles, but I don't know. LeGarrette Blount blowing and Josh Freeman might actually have a good week. So
I'll tell you what. I think Ware sacks Freeman in his Jufro a couple times, and I think that Terrence Newman comes up with a big interception, and the Cowboys do better than the Eagles.
Michael Jenkins will be injured again 3 minutes into the game, and Rex Ryan will have a heart attack. And Rob Ryan, whatever his name is.
Thinking of feet.
Yeah.
So,
John Chris.
is a foot fetish one of those passed down things? So does Rob Ryan have a foot fetish too?
I hope
because he's
not.
related to him.
I don't know. I don't even want to think about it.
He does look like Cameron.
Oh. He's wearing his mediums.
Anything goes. We can say whatever we want about Cameron because he just doesn't watch the videos anymore because he gave up.
Poor Cameron.
Cameron, if you're there, leave me a salty comment. Okay, here's our first real playoff game. That was the consolation bracket. I'm going to give the edge to myself and you, Ben, because of Clatford's injuries.
Yeah, I agree.
Disco and USC. This will be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
USC Athlete and Disco Hobbits. On the USC Athlete side, you have Tim Tebow. And on the Disco side, you have Drew Brees. Who's going to win that?
Drew Brees. As much as Tebow does good in that fourth quarter, I mean, he's a good quarterback in the fourth quarter, but he's not a good fantasy quarterback overall. Drew Brees is one of the most, is an elite quarterback. He performs week after week. They had like 35 straight weeks with a touchdown. I mean, as a fantasy owner, that's pure gold. So I give it to Brees, especially when he's playing Minnesota.
I'm going to agree, but you can't forget Tebow's rush yards.
Yeah, but he doesn't score any touchdowns. I mean, 40 rush yards is sure and fine, but when you don't have any touchdowns to back it up, you're pretty much being C.J. Spiller, getting 50 yards, no touchdowns.
Arian Foster and Ray Rice, Advantage Rice.
Yeah, I'll agree. I mean, Arian Foster I thought would have a bigger role with Schaub and Leinart out, but he's really not performed. Ben Tate's really outperformed him recently.
5 points last week.
Yeah.
Steven Jackson and Dirty McCoy.
I'm gonna give this one to McCoy. I mean, if you watched the game last night, they just misused Steven Jackson.
Yep.
And I've experienced firsthand by playing Disco. I mean, as we all have in the league. He has one of the best running back tandems I've ever seen. I mean, LaShawn McCoy had a bad week last week. He had 50 or something so yards, but he was on the 1 yard line twice, and they gave him the ball both times, and he got 19 points. So even on a bad week, McCoy does good. So I'll give it to McCoy.
Steven Jackson last night with the Rams. The Rams are on the one. They have 3 busted plays, and some moron on the Seahawks corner gets in the face of a receiver after an incompletion, gets a taunting call. Yeah.
Niglet.
The Rams get 3 more shots. They screw it over. They screw up twice. It's 3rd down. They're still on the one after 5 busted plays. They try to take Jake Jackson out to put in Fadillac Williams, and Jackson just starts yelling at the sidelines and won't come out. They give it to Jackson for the first time, and he punches it in. I think after being embarrassed on Monday Night Football, the Rams learn how to use Steven Jackson, and he has 100 yards and a couple scores.
Not sure. Sandusky might be the offensive coordinator.
PSU showers. Steve Smith and Hakeem Nicks. Steve Smith will get the yards and the advantage.
Yeah, I'll agree with Steve Smith.
A.J. Green and Antonio Brown. Advantage A.J. Green.
I'm going Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's been like a really, really smart pickup from Spencer, because I mean, the points he's put up recently is just like outstanding. Like Mike Wallace was supposed to be the number 1 there, but Antonio Brown's really turned into a really solid wide receiver. So I'm going to pick him over A.J. Green.
I'm going to give the edge to Tony over Jimmy Graham. I know it sounds crazy, but Tony, I think, is due for a couple big touchdowns. They seem to be moving the ball away from Turner right now. And, any time that they give the running back the ball less, it opens up the tight end on the goal line. So I think Tony Gonzalez comes down with a couple touchdowns.
I think you're crazy, honestly. Jimmy Graham is a wide receiver playing a tight end spot, pretty much. I mean, he gets like 20 targets a game. He's unstoppable, pretty much. By doing this, and plus he's playing the Vikings, and the Vikings are awful. Like, name me 5 people on the Vikings defense, other than that defensive end who's really good, does the cow rope move. So
Jared Allen?
Yeah, Jared Allen. So that's all I could pretty much say about the Vikings D. So I think Jimmy Graham has I'm gonna be really bold. I say he has 3 touchdowns.
No. Not in the Saints offense.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Ryan Matthews, and I think Spencer will probably start Dirty Beanie, so I'm going to give the advantage to Spencer's flex.
Yeah, I'll give it to the flex because Ryan Matthews playing.
Dan Bailey,
Ravens.
top tier kicker. Enough said. Broncos have a good matchup, and the Ravens don't. So I'm giving the edge to the Broncos.
I'll give it to the Ravens. Broncos D against Tom Brady. I don't like that. Ravens against San Diego with inconsistent Phillip Rivers. I'll take that over the Broncos.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to change my mind. I thought the Broncos were playing someone else. There's been one person to beat Disco Hobbits all year, and I think he'll do it again. I'm giving the edge to Spencer.
Yeah, I think Spencer's going to upset him again. I think it's time for Disco Hobbits to finally fall.
First round. Alright, your game of the week, record-breaking suck, and the victorious Sea Gouch. Now, Sea Gouch has put together a great season and hasn't fallen off at all. Since TWIF Week 5, the rise of Sea Gouch, I think he's had 1 or 2 losses.
Yeah, he's really taken off.
He's done the opposite of Cameron. So, let's jump right into this here. Christian has 11-3 record, Rampy has a 10-4. They're both division winners. Aaron Rodgers over Brady.
Yeah, I would have to say that. They're both playing crappy defenses, but Rodgers is all powerful.
Ben Tate over Marion.
I'm going to go with Marion Barber, playing the Seahawks, even though Tate is playing the Panthers. But Tate shares time and Barber is starting because Forte's out.
I think you start to see a shift to Tate because as the Texans near the playoffs, they're probably going to rest Foster and rest Johnson since they've already clinched a spot.
Yeah.
Even though Murray broke his ankle, I think anyone Rampy can scrounge up.
Woodhead, that's his only other running back.
Better than LT. LT's
I don't think
terrible.
no. Woodhead's awful. He's behind like Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and like Stephen Ridley.
Maybe you can tell him a couple more people and win the game for him again.
Yeah, Cliff Frobajuru Bajama, whatever that Indian's name is.
Are you referring to Montario Hardestein?
No, the other guy.
I know, but that's who you told him to pick
Oh
up.
yeah, it was. Then he injured himself.
Jordy Nelson, touchdown machine over Percy Harvin.
Yeah, I agree.
Wes Welker over Victor Cruz. I think they both come down with a touchdown, but Wes has more yards.
I say Cruz does better. Cruz has really been Manning's go-to guy, and Brady likes to spread it around pretty good.
Two terrible tight ends. I hate Finley. Completely inconsistent. Put up a goose egg last week. And Ed Dickinson. I've never even heard of him. So advantage Finley.
Finley, yeah.
But I don't think they'll do anything. Christian took a blow into his Packers team when Greg Jennings got hurt for basically the rest of the regular season. And Laurent Robinson will outperform him.
Yeah, I agree.
Steven Gostkowski will do better than Mason Crosby.
Agreed.
And the Green Bay Packers D over the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills defense is just a punching bag. Then you look at the Packers, what are they, top 3 in turnovers caused?
Yeah, they have the most interceptions, and there's 1 or 2 in turnovers. I mean, they're just unbelievable.
Advantage Seagouch.
I'm going to have to say Seagouch as well.
Okay, so our playoff picture looks like you and me, great game, and an upset, USC wins, and Seagouch in the final. Very unexpected.
I think it's going to be a really good game if you and I both win, because
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty intense. And then whatever the championship tournament's going to be, it's going to be pretty amazing as well, because all these teams have put up great numbers this year.
As always, remember to like and comment the video. It helps me out and helps the video come up in related searches so other people can enjoy the TWIFs. Ben, do you have anything to add?
I'm a fantasy genius with a 500 record, so that tells you the story.
Better luck next year for us. See y'all later.